Dear student, today we are going to discuss about skeletal muscle and muscular contraction. The uh, the outermost layer we used to call it as epimysium, and innermost layer we used to call it as endomysium. And in between epi and endomysium there is a perimysium. So this is the picture shows very clearly about the muscle and tendon. The bone is connected muscle via or with help of tendon only. Tendon is it is not a muscle, it's a white color fibrous tissue. And after tendon there is a muscle belly. The muscle belly, there are more than 100 or 1000 muscle fibers connected together and make it as a muscle belly. The outermost layer we used to call it as a epimysium, and the picture it is very clearly indicated. And when epimysium is taken out one single muscle fiber, the outermost layer of those single muscle fiber, it is called fasciculus. And when you open fasciculus there is a endomysium. It is very clearly there are shown that there are more than 100 muscle fiber. When you take out one muscle fiber from endomysium, there is a myofilament. In the myofilament, the outermost layer we used to call it as a sarcolemma. And after opening the sarcolemma, there is a sarcoplasm and myofibril or myofilament. And in between there is a nuclei. The single muscle fiber we used to call it as a myofibril. Those myofibril, it is going to contact each other or make it as a muscular contraction. And this is about the neural impulses from your brain. Your hypothalamus sends some command to final spinal cord. The spinal cord pass the information to peripheral nervous system. From peripheral nervous system, there is a single neuron, the skeletal muscle. It is afferent efferent nervous system. So during neural impulses, the it is travel along the sarcolemma. How it is travel means the sodium and potassium is the potassium is always present inside of the cell intercellular, and the sodium is present outside during rest. This is next stage. The sodium is rushed into out, and immediately potassium is rushed into inside, so that the sodium and potassium crossing each other, or it will come out and it will go like that. The neural impulses travel along the neural and muscular muscle fiber, and finally it reaches to neuromuscular junction. Via neuromuscular junction, it will pass the information from neural end to muscular end. After receiving the information, the information is travel along the sarcolemma. And the second stage is the sarcolemma. It is connected with the T tubules. The yellow color shows T tubules. The T tubules is responsible to receive the neural impulses, and the neural impulses may be passes to the endoplasmic reticulum. So those endoplasmic reticulum is sarcoplasmic reticulum is responsible to release calcium, which is present in the network. So after releasing calcium, your muscle is responsible to contract each other. How the calcium is going to make active sites both in the actin and myosin. So during the actin and myosin is get uh, activated, so that those activation, because of those activation, the active sites is created. Those active sites, it is opposite opposite pole, so that it will easily attract each other. Because of this attraction, the muscular during muscular contraction, it will pull each other, so that the The red color shows myosin and the yellow color shows actin. During muscular contraction, the myosin will be stable. The actin only it will cross over the myosin, so that the myosin head is touch troponin, so that muscular contraction is possible. So during muscular contraction, the actin it is going to slide over the myosin, so that muscular contraction is possible. So during muscular contraction, the picture shows the head portion of myosin. It will erect and touch the troponin, so that muscular contraction is possible. So in this picture, it is clearly shows that the muscular contraction. How we can see. So during muscular contraction, there are six stages. First is resting, and another one is slightly increased action potential, and the third stage is completely reaches maximum action potential. It is very simple. The resting stage, there is a adenosine triphosphate. Phosphate will be alone. So when the action potential is started in the muscle, the active sites is created, so that adenosine diphosphate it will coupling with one more phosphate, either in the form of phosphocreatine or inorganic phosphate, so that one phosphate is derived from creatine phosphate, so that the adenosine diphosphate may be adenosine triphosphate. After combination of adenosine triphosphate, uh, uh, the adenosine triphosphate is going to break one phosphate, releasing of energy. Those energy may be utilized for your muscular contraction. And so during muscular contraction, the adenosine diphosphate is attached to myosin. The myosin head is responsible. The magnesium and the myosin head is responsible to coupling of troponin, tropomyosin, and G-actin together and form a thread. And this is another area. After attaching calcium only, the trigger is started. Immediately ATP is produced. After producing of ATP, one phosphate is liberated. Because of one phosphate is breakdown, the energy is passes to the working muscle. So the metabolic process is started and initiated. The glycogen is converted um, from glycogen into glucose, so that the excess energy may be liberated in the form of muscular contraction, or during exercise we need more energy. Those energy is derived from muscle means in the form of muscular contraction. Muscular contraction means in the form of the glycogen conversion. So the excess glycogen may be converted and utilized for your muscular contraction and maintain your body temperature. So it's very simple. You can see during muscular contraction, the action thread is only getting movement, and the myosin head only it will get erect. This myosin head, so that it will touch the yellow color. It is troponin. So during muscular contraction, the myosin head and the troponin only it will contact each other, so that there will be no problem. So the myosin head it won't touch any other portion of the thread. So when you talk about thread, the actin thread is three protein. uh, Two protein is one kind of protein, and another one is a different protein. So during muscular contraction, this protein only it will work. So already I told you, during muscular contraction there is no change in the red portion is myosin. The line portion is actin. So during muscular contraction there is no movement, there is no portion change in the myosin, only change in the actin only. So the second picture it is clearly indicated that there is no I mean movement in the myosin thread. only the changes in the action thread. So this is about myosin head, and another picture is clearly identified that. So during muscular contraction, this is possible. So I think it is easy to understand for your knowledge.